What's going on, family? What's going on, family? It's Thursday, October 23rd. You're in for a phenomenal episode today here on Speak Your Success in the Morning. Let's go ahead and get into it. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, successors? Y'all, welcome to another episode of Speak Your Success in the Morning. Currently, it is Thursday, October 23rd, 2025, and I'm grateful and glad and happy and pleased to be alive. Lord didn't have to wake me up this morning, but he saw fit and he said, Jonathan, I'm going to give you another day. So I am grateful to be here, and same for you, right? If you're here, you're listening, you're watching the show, you're streaming, maybe you're catching and recording, maybe you caught it later in the day. But if you're hearing my voice, then your time on earth is not done yet. And friend, I'm excited for me. I'm excited for you. And I'm excited on what we can be here together. But y'all, last night, what we do last night? Last night for dinner, I had, what was that? It was like some chicken. It was chicken with penne pasta at work. That's what I had for dinner last night because why? Because I was working Wednesday night service. Okay. And we get that meal right at about 4:30 to prepare us for the evening. So man, that was a good meal last night. Good meal with some balsamic Brussels sprouts. If you never tried balsamic Brussels sprouts, you might want to give them a little gander. Give them a little taste. Take it down the road a little bit. But family, we're gonna go ahead and dive in. We're not gonna waste any time today. And now we're about to go ahead and get into straight from the source. Straight from the source. And today we're gonna be coming from the book of Ecclesiastes. So straight from the source, the book of Ecclesiastes. I'm gonna start with this is chapter 11. I'm gonna start with verse 1, and I want to read. I want to read this text. I was talking with my guy, Mr. Rocky Betts, yesterday. Man, I love them. Man, they are family. Rocky and Randy and the whole Betts crew. They're just good people, man. They're good people. They love God and they're super creative and they're not afraid of hard work, man. So shout out to them. But I was talking with Rocky yesterday, and me and him just started talking about the economy and just talking about the quote where it talks about the jack of all trades is the master of none. But the end of that quote, very few people know. Very few people know the end of the jack of all trades quote because the quote in its entirety is a jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one. So hearing that quote, hearing that phrase, it really brings to mind Ecclesiastes chapter 11. And Rocky shared this with me yesterday, and I was like, "Oh wow!" And I said, "Bro, very few people know that quote." He said, "John, very few people." So let's go ahead and get into this text, and then y'all will see where I'm coming from. Hopefully, if not, we're gonna get you there. So the text reads, and this is Ecclesiastes chapter 11. I'm starting at verse 1. Cast your bread on the surface of the waters, for you will find it. After many days, divide your portion to 7 or even 8, for you do not know what misfortune may occur in the earth. You do not know what the economy will look like in 25. You do not know what the tariffs will be increased to. You understand me? Verse 3 says, if the clouds are full, they pour out rain on the earth. And whether a tree falls toward the south or toward the north, whether the tree falls, there it lies. One who watches the wind will not sow, and one who looks at the clouds will not harvest. Just as you do not know the path of the wind and how bones are formed in the womb of the pregnant woman, because we surely do not know, so you do not know the activity of God who makes everything. Sow your seed in the morning And do not be idle in the evening, for you do not know whether one or the other will succeed, or whether both of them alike will be good. May God bless the readers and the doers of his holy, holy word. Family, I wanted to break that down and share that text today is because the time that we're in right now, we don't know what the economy is going to do today, tomorrow, next week, next month, later this year. We don't know how some of us will continue to make a living if we don't do something different than what we're doing right now. The fact of the matter is this: there are, when we last reported, it was over 357,000 women, black women, educated black women without jobs. But now the question becomes, if you're not with, and this isn't directed at them, this is just in general because I love my sisters. I married a black queen. You understand me? But the question now becomes, if you're not working at the corporate job that you once had, or once do, or once did, what other skill sets and what other areas or avenues can you add value and be beneficial to that space, to another space? Prime example, right? So for me, my main bread and butter in my business has been speaking. My handle on Instagram and on social media is Jonathan Jones Speaks, right? So going to school, speaking, doing some consulting with colleges around podcasting and working with their student athletes and different things like that, right? However, the speaking checks have not been rolling in as consistently over the past few years due to different factors, right? Due to some people with budgets and due to the reach out looks different for me and due to me having two kids. So there is a different reason and a different season that I'm in right now. So now the question becomes, well, John, if you're not generating money speaking, how are you generating money? Like the text says right here. It says, divide your portion into 7 or even 8, for you don't know what misfortune may occur. For me, what has that look like? Well, for one, I also started working at my local church, right? So working in media, helping them produce service and also guiding the service and doing all things media there is another avenue that I have, like the text says, I have casted my portion or divided my portion. But then on the other side, I said, I want to learn more about video. I've always hired videographers and I had a camera and I would let them use it and I would pay them to use their own cameras and own equipment. But then I said, well, let me see how I can also learn more about filming, learn more about being behind the camera. So now just making money in front of the camera or in front of an audience isn't my only option. Because the honest truth is, there will be more chances for me to film somebody else's content, create somebody else's content, versus me being in front of the camera and speaking and then having somebody else create mine, right? So the area I want you to assess and just begin to think through and, consider. I would just encourage you to consider, right? That right here, verse 3. If the clouds are full, they pour out rain on the earth, and whether a tree falls towards the south or towards the north, wherever the tree falls, there it lies. What are we talking about here? What are we learning about? Well, it reminds me of a verse in the Bible where it says, it rains on the just and the unjust. So that means for you, for me, for us, there's going to be hard times in life. There's going to be times where life isn't going to go the way that we planned it out. And in terms of finances, and in terms of uncertainty, and in terms of calculated risk, we need to do a few things. The first thing is we need to be wise in our action and risk taking, right? Because the verse actually is urging action rather than inaction. It's even telling us that when conditions are not perfect, He who observed the wind will not sow, which ultimately is implying for us that overthinking or waiting for the right time, the ideal circumstance, this is going to be something that's going to prevent you from ever getting started, ever starting that business, ever applying for that job, ever asking for that sale, right? And then there's even the aspect of diversification, where the instruction is, like I said before, to give a portion, 7 or even an 8. This advises against putting all your resources into a single venture, a single avenue. Whether this is in business, this is in ministry, this is a call for you to diversify your efforts to mitigate risk. Why do we want to mitigate risk? Because if at the end of the day, you were into stocks and you said, ooh, I have an inside tip, not inside tip, but I have a feeling, or based on me looking at these charts, this one stock is going to hit it big. Let me take all the money I have and put in this one stock. And what happens if that stock doesn't capitalize? You're going to lose all of your money. So at the end of the day, we need to be diligent and we need to trust, right? The text says, in the morning, sow your seed, and in the evening, withhold not your hand. This is ultimately letting us know and encouraging us to persist with effort. Be persistent in your effort throughout the day, because the final line for you is to know that not if, but when disaster happens on earth, when there's a pandemic, when there's the real estate bubble bust, when there's a recession, this reinforces the idea that while we must work hard, ultimately it's in God's hands. But we still want to operate with wisdom. We still want to operate and mitigate the risk that we can. And then we also want to diversify where we can. All right, family, that has been straight from the source. If you're enjoying this content, if you're rocking with us, I encourage you, go ahead and give us a thumbs up, just so that YouTube also knows that you're rocking with us. And that's been straight from the source today. That was Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verses 1 through 6. And I hope it encouraged you, because it encouraged me. You know, in this time, in this generation where people are always saying, do one thing, do one thing, do one thing. That's great, but that ain't Bible. Ooh, do you hear me though? That's great, but that's not Bible. And we over here operate on the word of God. And the word of God is telling us, hey, doing one thing is great, but at the same time, I want you to divide your portion to 7 or even to 8, so that you know that if misfortune does occur, you're accounted for. Family's accounted for. Everybody's accounted for, versus you putting all the bread on 20 black and then 20 black don't hit. So then what happens? You will be out cold. All right, family, we're about to take a quick commercial break. We're going to be right back with more Speaker Success in the Morning after this. Looking for timeless pieces that make a statement? Discover the Jewelry Department, where elegance meets craftsmanship. Owned by Miguel Contreras and located at 13505 Mumford Place, Suite 103 in Dallas, the Jewelry Department is your destination for stunning, one-of-a-kind pieces designed to elevate your style. From classic designs to modern trends, we offer a curated selection that reflects sophistication and artistry. Because we believe your jewelry should be just as unique as you are. Visit us today at the Jewelry Department, where every piece tells a story. And let us help you find the perfect piece that speaks to yours. The Jewelry Department, elevating your look with elegance and style. Find us at 13505 Mumford Place, Suite 103 in Dallas. All right. Family, welcome back to Speak Your Success in the Morning. We're currently 15 minutes after the hour. And y'all, when I saw this story, I said, whoa, wait a minute, no way. This can't be real, right? In this whole era of NIL, in this whole era of things just getting out of hand. Okay, I want to share this with y'all. We're gonna get into some of the scores from last night. I know the opening season of the NBA has really kicked off, and we're starting to roll because there was a whole slew of games that happened the other night. But y'all, this right here is pretty wild. Okay, and according to Tom Izzo, he actually went on to say it's ridiculous, it's embarrassing. Okay, Tom Izzo on Louisville signing a former G League player. And if you're not familiar with what the G League is the NBA's developmental league. If you're familiar with baseball and their farm teams, it's something similar to that, right? So there's guys that they either feel like they're not ready just yet, or they might not just have space on their team. So they allow them to play in the G League, and then they can be called up at any point in time to come to an NBA team. But y'all, this is you got to see this. Okay, so hold on, wait. Let's go ahead and play the clip.
Someone's going to say, well, if they go pro, it doesn't work out, shouldn't they be able to come back? Well, what about the freshman you recruited there? That's somebody's son. And he thinks he's got himself a good place, and all of a sudden, shazam, they pull out of their hat and bring a 21 or 22-year-old in. To me, it's ridiculous. To me, it's embarrassing. And I love my job. I don't respect my profession, and I don't respect who's ever doing that. Whoever made those decisions, because they're afraid that a lawyer's going to sue them, sooner or later you got to fight the fight.
Tom Izzo went on to say, we're really hurting the seniors in high school on allowing G League players to play NCAA basketball, right? So Tom Izzo went on to say a little bit further down, his rant comes after 21-year-old London Johnson, who spent the last 3 seasons in the G League, committed to the Cardinals, a 4-star prospect from the class of 2022. Johnson will arrive to Louisville mid-year, sit out the upcoming season, and start playing for the team in 26-27. With 2 years of anticipated eligibility, according to On3, Johnson follows Theory Darlin, another former G League player who last month committed to Santa Clara. Wow. Johnson and Darlin's cases demonstrate a clear shift in how the NCAA handles eligibility. It has traditionally had strict rules forbidding athletes paid at the professional level from switching to college, though it has occasionally bent them for international players. With the onset of the name, image, and likeness and the revenue-sharing era, NCAA's mindset has further shifted. Darlin's agent, Tommy Rasmar, told Front Office Sports last month that his 2 years of eligibility were granted based on his age and how long he had been out of high school. Okay, man. While Darlin's G League jump was unprecedented, he hails from the Central African Republic, still fitting into the trend of NCAA changing rules for international players. And Johnson, however, is from the Atlanta suburbs. His commitment outlines the NCAA's new stance for former G League players. Oh, my goodness. Y'all, drop in the chat. What are your thoughts on this? Former G League players, right? So basically, they're like one step away from the NBA. One step away from the NBA, saying, you know what? I'm going to come back and I'm going to use these last 2 years of my college eligibility. I'm going to come back. I still got some eligibility. I didn't go pro. I'm going to come back. And is this wrong? Like, what are your thoughts here? Because mind you, with NIL and with the way things have gone, new ruling of judgment is also that athletes can go to junior college for 2 years. After they go to junior college for 2 years, they can then transfer out to a 4-year university and then still have 4 more years of eligibility. That is wild. This is coming from a time, and we're going to transition in just a second. This is coming from a time and coming from a guy, because I played junior college basketball, right? I was a red shirt, so I didn't play my first year. And then after that, I had 2 seasons to play junior college. So the way that it worked for me, after those 2 seasons, now I transferred to a university, and I only had how many more years of eligibility? Just 2. But now this is a time where they're granting additional time. And This is really hurting high school seniors. Really hurting high school seniors. And I was telling one of my guys yesterday, a young guy I know, he's in college, he hoops. And I was letting him know, I was like, bro, for you, what I would do, I would really lean into and leverage this new ruling. Go in, play JUCO, red shirt, then get in, work out, get into the system, understand college basketball, and then transfer out to a major D1 university if possible. Because that's the way things are going. That's the way it's shifting, and it is wild to say the least. Okay, but let's go ahead and get into some of these sports. Let's go ahead and get into some of these highlights from the NBA last night. Okay, first up, we got the Mavericks and the Spurs. 125-92. Cooper Flag, welcome to the NBA. Let's check out the box score here. So, how did old Cooper do? How did old Cooper do? Well, let's take a look here. So, before we get to him, y'all, Wemby, 40 and 15 in 30 minutes is crazy work. Okay, Wemby went off right here, 40 and 30. Yikes. All right. He has been putting in work in the offseason, and it is showing. All right. Castle had 22 and 7. Not bad. Not bad. Castle, not bad. But yeah, man, those are the highs on the team, right? Those are the highs. And then D. Vassell had 13, 4, and 3. Not too bad of a night. But then let's take a look at the Mavs. Anthony Davis, AD, 22 and 13 in 32 minutes. That's what the Mavs want to see. But the question always about AD is, can he remain healthy? Okay. Can he remain healthy? We will have to wait and see. Then we got Mr. PJ Washington going for 17 points, 5 rebounds. All right, PJ, we like it. We like it. Clay going for 10 and 2. All right, man. Hey, we love Meg Thee Stallion just as much as you do, but hey, bro, it's time to lock in, okay? Cooper Flag went for 10 and 10. That's not a bad night, Cooper. In 32 minutes, 10 and 10, that's not a bad night, okay? Not a bad night right there for the rookie. But yeah, let's get into some of these other games. Then we had the Timberwolves taking down the Trailblazers, 118. There we go. Yeah, Timberwolves taking down the Trailblazers, 118. Let's start from the top, man. Let's start from the top. Okay, here we go. Cavaliers taking an L to the Knicks. Why the system don't want to work with your boy? Come on now. Don't do me like that. Okay, there we go. Okay, so the Cavaliers taking an L to the Knicks, 119 to 111. Not bad, New York. They picking up right where they left off. The Magic, 125 over the Heat, 121. The Hornets, 136. Oh my goodness, this is G League numbers. 136 over Brooklyn's 117. The Raptors are taking down the Hawks, 138 to 118. The 76ers, and a nail biter, 117 over the Celtics, 116. I'm interested to see how the Celtics do this year with Al Horford and see how they do, of course, with Jaylen Brown. And shout out to him because he went to my high school, Wheeler High School. You know what I'm saying? And then the Grizzlies, they bit down the Pelicans, 128 to 122. The Bulls are edging out the Pistons, 115 to 111. Not mad about that. And then the Bucks, 133 over the Wizards, 120. Y'all, the NBA is in full swing right now with all of these highlights and all these scores. Because then the Clippers, 108 to 129. Y'all, the Jazz were over the Clippers. They had them down, I believe it was 43 to like 19 at halftime. This is crazy. And then the Timberwolves, 118 to 114 over the Trailblazers. And last but not least, the Kings took a L to the Suns, 116 to the Suns, 120. So, y'all, the NBA is in full swing right now. And this is how we know it's in full swing, because we had the NBA on TNT. And look at what they got going right here, right? Look at what they got going. NBA on TNT, they're always cutting up. And look at Charles Barkley cutting up. Look at Charles Barkley. Somebody get Charles some new glasses. Get Chuck some new glasses, man. Look at Chuck. Look at Chuck with these glasses. Oh, my God. Somebody help this man out. Because, look, he can't even get himself together.
Tonight here on ESPN has been a lot of fun for us.
It's been awesome.
Things have gone.
Tron, baby. Hashtag Tron.
Things have gone.
So, look, they're going to go ahead and talk. And then what happens is Chuck go ahead and he pull out and break these glasses. That boy he just don't know how strong he is. Look at that. Broke him right in half. Boy don't know how strong he is. It's just crazy. Okay? Super Charles. But check out that boy Ant. Look at the photo. Look at the photo. Yikes. Get off me. Here it goes. Here we go. Step back.
Got it! Cold-blooded.
To the season opener
Look at
in
Ant.
franchise history.
Look at Ant.
Edwards working on grand
Little push off.
And the Minnesota Timberwolves in clutch time, and their record to be in 46 was huge.
That was a little push off, Ant. That was a little bit of a push off, bro. Little bit of push off there, big Ant. But y'all, Wemby was shining last night. Okay, no debate about it. He is a problem. Okay, we heard it before, and now we seeing it. The boy is a problem. Wembyamba. Okay. 40 piece to start year 3 is crazy. Okay. Crazy. Said Cooper Flag, I love you, man. Welcome to the NBA, but nah, bro. It's my time. Okay. And I think people be forgetting about Wemby because he's quiet, he's calm, he's nice, and everything like that. But yeah, he was out there shining. Now I want to show this, right, with the Jazz and the Clippers. Y'all getting blown out. Blown out. 108 to 129. 43 to 19. Clippers were up after the first quarter. It's just wild, man. NBA is back in full swing. And look at Ja. Let's just see this real quick. Ja versus Zion. Ja going for 35, 13 and of 20. Zion going for 27, 9, and 5. That's what they want to see. That's what they want to see. Zion. Let's see.
Out of their seats as quickly as possible. Morant over
Push
Williamson
off.
on the shot clock. Morant against Herb Jones. Got to the cup. Banked it in.
He came back 2 years ago and realized that he had to be more than just a good
Oh, Morant. 31 seasons of Grizzlies basketball. 25 in Memphis. And
crucial in this early part of the season for the Grizzlies.
Williamson, beautiful.
He can.
All right. Y'all don't forget about how good Zion Williamson actually was and is. That's a body of work right there. The boy is about 6'8", and he a freight train coming. So, y'all, just wanted to hit those NBA highlights. Wanted to get into a little bit of sports. But we're about to go ahead and take a quick commercial break, and we're going to be right back here with more Speaker Success in the morning after this. Do you want to feel confident in your skin every day? Introducing Skin Rituals, a luxury home-based skin studio that specializes in hyperpigmentation, acne, and personalized treatments for every skin type. Owned by solo esthetician and registered nurse Courtney Durham, Skin Rituals is all about curating facial treatments designed just for you. Hydrate, brighten, nourish, and soothe your skin with expert care and cutting-edge techniques that promote natural healing. Whether you're looking for a relaxing facial or a transformative chemical peel, Skin Rituals offers results-driven treatment tailored to your needs. With over 7 years of experience, Courtney's goal is to help you safely achieve the healthy skin that you deserve. At Skin Rituals, we believe that taking care of your skin is an investment in your confidence. Book your appointment today and leave every session feeling grateful for the choice that you made to take care of yourself. Skin Rituals, because your skin deserves the very best. Family, welcome back to Speaker Success in the Morning. I want to end the show today on a high note. Quick high note for ending the story today, ending the show today. Because I saw this down my timeline and I was like, oh, this is dope. It says Black Harvard student's hair braiding robot wins university startup contest. Let's go and get into it.
Braiding hasn't seen innovation since braiding was invented 5,000 years ago. That's why we're building Halo Braid, the first patent-pending hair braiding robot that saves time for stylists and their clients. Stylists start the braid, Halo finishes it, and we reduce braiding time from hours to minutes, making braiding joyful, not painful, and allowing a stylist to grow their business without destroying their hands. Our devices have done thousands of braids and braided full hairstyles like mine for the past year. And we use machine learning to match professional quality, but to do it 5 times faster. So now we're excited to realize our mission of saving billions of hours spent braiding hair each year and transform an industry that hasn't changed in thousands of years. Thank you. Braiding hasn't seen innovation.
That's dope. That's dope right there, y'all. That's dope. That's AI done right. That's the power of AI done right. So, family, man, I hope y'all are having a great day. I hope y'all are having an amazing rest of the week. And also, man, just remember, like we talked about in Straight from the Source this morning, please remember that knowing, understanding, and living by what the Word of God teaches us is the only way to live, family. Like, that's the only way to live. And I'm going to start living it more, right? I didn't know that in the book it tells us, cast, you sow your seed in 7 and 8 different places. Whoa, 7 and 8. 7 and 8, Jesus? 7 and 8. So I'm going to live what the word says. But family, until tomorrow for Fun Friday, we're going to return. Producer Britt is going to be rocking with us on Friday, Fun Friday. Y'all know like to come back, play a little game, do this, do a little bit of that. But it's all in good fun here on the show. So family, remember, speak your success, believe in your greatness, and continue to create the life and business of your dreams. Why would you and why should you live any other way? Looking for timeless pieces that make a statement? Discover the Jewelry Department, where elegance meets craftsmanship. Owned by Miguel Contreras and located at 13505 Mumford Place, Suite 103 in Dallas, the Jewelry Department is your destination for stunning, one-of-a-kind pieces designed to elevate your style. From classic designs to modern trends, we offer a curated selection that reflects sophistication and artistry. Because we believe your jewelry should be just as unique as you are. Visit us today at the Jewelry Department, where every piece tells a story. And let us help you find the perfect piece that speaks to yours. The Jewelry Department, elevating your look with elegance and style. Find us at 13505 Mumford Place, Suite 103 in Dallas.